Wrapped in intrigue and mystery, Netflix Bulbbul shows us the possibility of our bedtime stories coming true. So, to talk about the film more, today we have with us Rahul, Paoli, and Param, the cast of Bulbbul. Welcome to Peeping Moon, guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. So, firstly, tell me, Netflix just dropped the trailer, and it's really intriguing. It's interesting. It seems like a multi-layered supernatural story. But tell me, which aspect did you like the most, and it interested you the most?
Paoli?
Okay. So overall, I liked the entire concept and how like a folklore, like this film is based on a folklore. And while growing up, I've been listening to all these. I think we all have heard stories from folklore, and we've been fascinated. So I've also been fascinated by fairy tales and these things. So these kind of stories of the princesses, demons. So and the first time, I was offered a film which was based on that. And so from an outer perspective, like from that, this is about we are talking about is a supernatural thriller. We are talking about it's a period drama. As the trailer is out, so it is a period drama. And but it also, I think, raises it deals with the situations and the social issues of those times, of those misogynistic times of the society, how women used to get victimized. So a lot of things have been spoken through this film, and that overall makes it a very interesting package. It overall makes it a very interesting watch. And I have also actually, I just once I read my character, I had fallen in love with it actually, Vinodini. So for me, it was also portraying that character, portraying a victim for the first time was also a challenge. So that what intrigued me in doing the film.
Okay. Param?
We all grow up with these tales of the supernatural, these spooky tales. Sometimes we are told, sometimes our elders tell us these tales just to scare us off, going out onto the street at night or doing some things mischievous. We all grew up with these folklores, but we seldom question from where did they germinate? What is at the root of all these tales? Because these tales have been coming down through generations, through years, and through decades, and through centuries. So they must have germinated. They must have started out at some point. At some point, there must be a source. We very seldom actually go seeking for that source. I think what Bulbbul does is basically take such a folklore, a very common folklore, and it's such a common folklore. It's common in almost all cultures in the subcontinent. Actually. So it takes one such folklore and spins its yarn around it to make it a fulfilling, entertaining period drama, a tale of love, longing, yearning, passion, and everything. At the same time, in the quest of the source of it actually comes up with a tremendous, terrific comment on society, and that comment is extremely relevant even till today. So that is this entire retelling of a centuries-old folklore is what interested me the most about it.
Okay, that's great. Rahul, what about you?
For me, it was the journey of a woman from a very young woman, innocent, fragile, unformed. Journey of that girl to a full-blooded woman, no pun intended, and she's that really that's why I was struck by the film. In fact, when I finished reading the script, I spoke to Anvita for about an hour after that, and that's all we chatted about. I didn't chat about my role or anything like that, but it really impressed. That's what grabbed me. That this is a fantastic empowerment of a woman's story, except that it's not even overtly saying that. It's just, as Paoli and Param said, it's wrapped up in all the beautiful, strange, attractive, biting, sharp clothes that a supernatural fantasy film like this will be wrapped in. But for me, at its heart, what I loved was the comment it makes about women.
Okay. And there's also not much known about the characters that you play. The trailer just released, of course, this morning. But tell me something more about it. Oli, we'll start with you.
Okay, so as I said, like I was playing a victim for the first time. So when I read the script for the like after my first read, actually, I thought like I was a little confused. I didn't know how to approach this character because I found her to be little mean, little shrewd, little weird. The way she was acting, the way she was talking, like who does it? Of course, I knew that she belonged to that era, but I was a little confused of how to go about it. So first time I met my director, see, I think I was the last one to come on board in Bulbbul. So I didn't get actually an opportunity to talk to my director a lot until it was in the set. So I spoke to her and very interesting thing that she said, like, Vinodini is a child. So deep down, like, it's very sad that way. Like a girl, while she was growing up, of course she got married at a very early age. Like these kind of, she clung to those beliefs and thoughts and those structured social norms that were like kind of injected in her. And she had a kind of Lakshman Rekha, a kind of a sign of like you can't step out of it. Like those, like वो सोच होती थी उस समय की कि ये girls can do that, girls can't do that. So she stuck to those beliefs and she never had that courage to step out. She always played by the rules. She never took that leap of faith and went out and kind of changed things for her. That was one thing because she always believed that she was not the badi bahu of the family. वो जमींदार फैमिली की बड़ी बहू नहीं है, वो टाइटल नहीं है उसके पास. So that's why she doesn't have that power to change. So that was again a thought that was like put in her head, and she stuck to it. And I found her that this girl somewhere, of course she is a bahu of zamindar family, so obviously she was exposed to wealth and riches, her saris, her jewelry. At times she used to wear more, than which was required. So I thought like probably it was a camouflage for her, a kind of mask for her. Like somewhere she has hidden, like she has locked all her emotions, her desires. So by desires I mean inner desires. Of course, she was exposed to the early desires of like all jewels and all that. So I felt so sad for Vinodini. I said, oh God, she was seeking for love, she was seeking for care, but she succumbed to the social norms of those times, and probably she couldn't come out as a warrior, as a fighter, and so I thought like I want to become the medium for her through the cinema to the world, for the world, I wanted to play her so that I wanted her story to go to the world. So that was the feeling I had when I read Vinodini.
Okay, that's great. Param, what about you?
I think the part that I play in the film, Dr. Sudeep, if I dare say so, all the other characters from the film, they represent one world. Sudeep represents another. He's the outsider in the whole setup. He is the man who comes in sort of like with sort of the little flickering flame of enlightenment. So we have to if you put the whole thing in context of the 19th century Bengal, it probably makes a little more sense because on one hand, during the time that we actually are trying to posit our story in, on one hand, in and around the city of Kolkata, of Calcutta, this entire movement of the Bengali Renaissance was going on. The new ideas were being ushered in while the older order was being rejected. People were fighting for the rights of the widows to marry again, for such regressive practices being abolished and everything. At the same time, in the villages, a couple of hours away from the city, the same regressive measures, same regressive practices would still very much be prevalent. And I think it is in this setup that Sudeep comes in as a man of enlightenment. He's the emancipated one. He's the one who believes in equality. He's the one who believes that a man and a woman, although they might be sexually attracted towards each other, they might still remain just friends, like draw a line and they can still be friends. I mean, the equation between a man and a woman, the two sexes, can be something a little different than the traditional, the so-called normals of the society. But at the same time, he's wise enough to acknowledge the possible existence of something which probably can go beyond science. He's a man of science himself, he's a doctor, but he is not foolish enough to kind of completely disregard or root out the idea that there might be a few things which are probably beyond the realms of scientific philosophy and scientific temper. So, and he's a realist too. While he wants to save people's lives, while he wants to serve people, save people's lives, while he wants to, bring about the much necessary ideal changes in their lives, he also knows that it can't be done overnight. It has to be one step at a time. We have to bring down such a heavy and hefty wall. We have to go at it one brick at a time. It can't be done overnight. So, he's extremely reasonable, rational, balanced man, but he also has a tremendous softer side to him. He has a lot of love to give, but there his realist streak in him steps in and stops him from kind of really completing that, because he has got a job in hand. So he'll probably move on from here to another village to do the same thing that he's doing. That kind of fun.
Okay. Rahul, what about you?
I said yes because I that character for, because playing somebody you've played before is incredibly boring. So I hadn't played someone like this before. And also, can I put it off? Because if you can easily pull it off, that's fine, you can do it. But it's always interesting for me to do something that is a little bit tricky. Maybe not. Or I'll have to push a little bit to get there. So I think these were the two big reasons why I said yes. He's the Zamindar of the, by now, Paoli and Param have sort of painted the backdrop of this entire story. And he's the patriarch, burdened with responsibility, has absolutely no doubt that he is a perfect man, gentle, kind, compassionate, all of that. And then, of course, we see what happens.
Okay. That's great. Also, do you feel that the supernatural genre is not given that much attention in our industry?
Yes.
Okay. And why do you think that happens? Do you feel that it's tricky?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's tricky to get it right. It's tricky to engage and make it believable. And yet, so it's there are many devices that go into making a successful supernatural fantasy fable thriller, and it's not as easy as it looks. So I suppose it's also I tend to think it's something quite specialized. I mean, Tim Burton does something like this, and he would do it superbly well. So it's also somewhere a genre that was derided and made fun of in the 60s and 70s, or the 70s at least, 70s and 80s. But as a genre, it's a very strong artistic genre that Bulbbul amply demonstrates. So, yeah, it's definitely not neglected, but underrepresented.
Okay. And Param, do you, of course, we all know that content is definitely the king, but do you think that the medium a film or a show releases on is also a big part that it plays in its success?
Immediate success, yes. Long term, no. That's what I think.
Okay.
There are several films, and I think most of us actors can vouch, not just actors, filmmakers, people associated with the filmmaking business can vouch for it, that there are films which release in theaters, and there are occasions when the films don't really do very well. There are bigger players in the market, they kind of eat into your time, and all of that happens. But the moment it moves to another medium, be it on TV or now, most importantly, now when it moves on to the OTT, which is for the keeps, basically, then it is then that people from different walks, from different fields, from different quarters start bumping into the film, start watching it, start taking interest in it. It spreads, the word of mouth spreads, and it just becomes a rage online. There are several such instances. So I think it's time that we start questioning the idea of success of an artistic endeavor. I'm very glad that I love the idea of films watching films releasing on and theaters. It's a completely different high, but I think the existence of OTT is equally important, if not more, for the preservation of such finer artistic content.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much for
Ashita.
your time. It was
Thank
great
you,
talking to
Thank
you.
Rashida. Thank
you.
you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.